Yo, 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 yo. What's up? What's up? Oh man, another one. It's amazing how something happens and everybody want to go back to, you know, a song comes out and it affects everything. It's like nobody hears something when it's said, but when it comes out on the song, now everybody hear it and they go running to go find it. Because I swear, I think it was the Hayden that had it in Marcy Made, and I think Faizon watched Marcy Made. If you got Amazon Prime, definitely go watch Marcy Made. Almost every answer in the world that you need to know about Jay and how he got started is on Marcy Made. You want to know about Hustler Jay and all that? Watch Marcy Made. Don't forget to hit the like button here and subscribe to the page. Now, of course, Jay has ascended to power in hip hop. That's what he always wanted anyway. He wanted that position. He wanted to be looked at as King J, like he wanted to be that guy. He came in there playing the role as that guy. Now, when you look at the situations that took place, right? And when Jay's talking about, he play on, he's on the song with the wrist and neck don't lie and all that with Pusha T. They collaborated for the drug dealer song they did years ago. And see, Jay influenced a lot of these young rappers, like Pusha T and all these other guys who act like they could write like they was moving the biggest weight in the world. But Pusha T and Jay are very similar in that category. Like they weren't the guy. Your brother said it was his cousin, then him, then you. So you don't rap what you did, you just rap what you knew. So, but don't, man, there's plenty of people that do what you do. And that goes and relates back to Jay. You don't have to believe me. You can ask D. Haven. You can go to the Marcy May series on Instagram, ask D. Haven, go at him, or watch Marcy May. It's on Amazon Prime. If you got Amazon Prime, you can watch it right now. If you watch Marcy May, then you should have your answers. Jay tells you in all his old rhymes. If y'all Jay-Z fans, y'all should know his raps. The Haven introduced me to the game. Spanish Jose introduced me to King. I'm a hustler now. My gear's in and I'm in it. What's all the wavy light skinned girls are loving me now. The Haven introduced me to the game. Now, he trying to say Spanish Jose introduced him to King. But I don't think Jay knew Spanish Jose like that, to be honest. You can ask DeHaven. Ask how they did Jay know him, Spanish Jose. I saw him do an interview and said he used to do all these things with Spanish Jose. I'm like, ooh, wait. Ooh, wait. I don't think that's true. I don't think he was going in that corner bodega doing that. But that's interesting that he would say that. So I remember in the Jay song with Pusha T, he said, "The phase I'm on, love, I wouldn't believe it either." Playing off the name Faizon Love, that's just Jay being witty. And then he starts to brag on what he used to do. Now, when they were up here, whenever there was a raid or something that went down or anything, Jay was the one really not going to jail. And when he got jailed, it was a little small thing. Something small, or like a possession, something for holding weed or something. It was something real small. Nothing massive. Right? But Jay was so like trying to live two lives at the time. He wanted his mom to believe he was rapping and doing all these other things to get the money and not what he's doing. Didn't want her to know he was in the streets. So he would lie. Like he said, he would lie to his mom. Be like, "Oh, we had this show over here and they paid us in cash. So here it is. I was able to do this and bring a little paper home." But he wasn't really making no major moves. And with the New York law being what it was, things started to change. And when the law changed, it was a big crackdown on New York. They was locking people up in groups, taking down crews. So you start seeing crews start forming, or other guys who used to be in another crew who were the hanger-ons or the people who were just the send-off guys. Now they ready to start their own crew. And they jump and name a crew and they start going there, running a certain territory. And they just make it easier for the cops to bust them because they out there with jackets and all this other nonsense. And they get themselves knocked. The Haven realized, like, look, it's too hot out here in New York. It's time to move. And that's when they went to Trenton. And that's when things decided and the things started to change. Now, I remember DeHaven was saying, if you've seen it on Marcy Me, he was talking about how they got set up in Trenton. It wasn't about Jay. It's about him getting set up in Trenton and what he was doing with his crew. It had nothing to do with Jay. He was making moves in Trenton. He went back and got Jay. So it wasn't like I need Jay, like Jay was the one to get it rolling. He went back and got them guys. He was already out making moves. Once he had the thing rolling, and then he said, okay, I need a couple of people to bring up here to do this and that. Let me bring my mans up here. So he came and saw how things was running. Then he told them, okay, y'all run this right here, because now Trenton running dry. Let me go to Maryland and get that popping. He went out to Maryland, and next thing you know, they was out of everything. He was like, whoa, that's quick. He came back with Mo and saw how it was moving and was like, oh, I'm moving to Maryland. And he just has the intuition to know, just the hustler spirit. Just like, this is where it's hot at. This is where I need to be. Even though he ain't from there. He fits in anywhere. So he came there and got that popping. Then he went and got them and brought them up there. Like, look, Trinity's dry right now. Like, it's good to us, but it ain't moving like this. This is a Tokyo Express out here. Y'all need to get out here to Maryland now. So Jay wasn't in the trenches. So what Faizon Love was saying was like, nope, nope, nope. That was they both telling the truth. Okay? Watch Marcy Made so you can get filled in on all the blanks. All the pieces you're missing that I'm missing telling you and everything else. Watch Marcy Made, fill in those blanks. It's on Amazon Prime still, I believe. I bought it because I ain't finna rent it. I'm gonna buy that. That's something I need to have. But make sure you cop that because it's gonna tell you all the missing pieces. Now, Faizon was saying what everybody else was saying that actually knew Jay or knew people that knew him. And most of y'all slept on the Stillmatic intro. Or the song Stillmatic. I think it was Nas song when he was saying what he said. Old times that never took place, you liar. Was your first court case. You had no priors. You master fabricated stories of the street to sound slick. How you surrounded you and the people you're down with. Now you trying to ride Nas, trying to boost your career. Was your first court case. You had no priors. So when Jay said in the song, all I know is he's a felon, you became a felon as a rapper. You never was a felon in the drug game. He never was a felon in the game. He didn't get a felony until he was a rapper. Let that sink in. Now, I don't know what particulars made him do what he did or what was going through J mind when he did that, but the people that knew Jay knew he wasn't that guy. This is what Tupac was even telling you. How you gonna be the Hawaiian Sophie one year and then a tough ass mobster the next? My memory ain't bad. You about the business. Jay-Z, his fake little whatever, and a bunch of corny sounding. So they didn't even respect him in the game as what he was portraying himself to be. And it pissed him off that he wasn't getting that respect in the game. But on the song, he was the greatest drug dealer that ever lived. So somebody saying, you sound like you saying that Faizon Love was right. Faizon Love is right to a point. He right to a point. When he was with DeHaven, he really didn't do nothing. Only thing he had to do was learn. That's his job. Learn. That was it. He wasn't in those trenches. Not saying he wouldn't have done anything if it was they back was up against the wall. I don't know. But Jay was always different. Jay always gave me the vibe of I'm self-centered, really, at heart. And I would sell my own mother to get ahead. He's always giving me that vibe. He give me the vibe of a person who do for his family, not because he love them. He do for his family because he need them. Like, I don't see a person with love in his eyes at all. There's nothing there. Like, I don't see the empathy. I don't see any of that in Jay. I really don't. I see a person that cares about self so much that you could easily bruise his ego because that's what he cares about so much is the image. That's how Nas cut him to the core with Ether because it was factual. That last verse just, he was like, that was just too far. That was pretty far. It was far for him because he never saw Nas doing that. And Nas having that kind of information about him. He was always thought he was sneaky and careful with everything he was doing. So when Nas hit him with that last verse, it like knocked the wind out of him. He was in a funk for months. Make him drop his first dud album, The Blueprint 2. He was off his square. It took him a while to get back on point. Jay was trying to get it all back in one night, and he couldn't do it. He had to live with the fact that people didn't like Jay-Z no more. And that was something he wasn't used to for a while. Like, man, they all flipped on me. He didn't realize people was actually tired of him. And he was waiting for somebody to say something. And Nas said everything that people was wanting to say. How many Biggie rhymes is gonna come out your fat lips? People like, yeah, man, you always biting big. So people were saying that even in Brooklyn, even in New York, they was tired of you saying Biggie's lines. You know, it was like, dude, stop that. Now, most of the artists, it might have been their jealousy, but it is what it is. Hey, don't forget to hit the like button on this video too, and subscribe if you're new here. You know, I know it says it in the banner, but you know, it is what it is. Now, to keep the record and everything on point, we did everything in our power to try to find, you know, get all the truth and the facts in the situation. Now, this is why I tell you, Faizon is right to a point. Jay eventually started to do his own thing. Go watch Marcy Made, you'll see why, what happened, everything. When Jay started going out on his own and following the blueprint of the Haven, what he laid out. When he starts following that blueprint and dealing with OG Juan and his wife Desiree and going down that route and doing the things he was doing with them, and they over at Rock Nation right now, and there was a big raid that went down where she was working with the federal government, and all of these things came out, and then a lot of people got taken down. People outside of this country, people inside of this country, people from New York. They got heavy time. A lot of people got heavy time. Jay didn't even have to go to court to testify. He wasn't brought in on nothing. That's strange, isn't it? Doesn't that sound pretty strange? Now, I'm just saying, that sounds pretty strange to me. Now, you're Jay, right? And you've made it to this new plateau where you're in the industry now. What you did to get here from your past should be in your past. Why you keep trying to make that and live off that to be this big mogul that you keep saying you're the conglomerate, my $1 billion net worth? Why you keep trying to go back to drug rap? Why are you promoting drug selling? Why haven't you evolved? Why you keep going back to the gutter? That's like if Malcolm X become Malcolm X in the nation, or Malcolm who then went to Mecca and then came back, and then he'd be like, yo, but I get my Malcolm Little on too. Yo, I'm back here in the block. I remember pimping the moles and doing this. You know, it was like if he went back and did that, he would have confused the people. He evolved. So with all the stuff he did as Malcolm Little was done. You know, like, oh, I did that when I was young. I was unenlightened. You supposed to be enlightened now, brother. Why do you keep going back to drug rap? Every rhyme is about drugs. But when you rapping on songs with Nas and all them, y'all sitting there, Big Willie with the yak and the stogies at the casino and doing all this, like y'all big bosses, but you keep talking about drug rap. What do you have to offer now? Because realistically, your boy Jay been sounding ridiculous for a minute, man. He really has. And people gotta understand, man, this is real talk. That's right. D Haven and told y'all all of this. Go follow and go watch Marcy May and get your answers. I tried to tell people. I said, look, this Pusha T Jay Z thing, a lot of these young rappers came up trying to be like Jay Z. The cocaine rapper. Like, I'm the cocaine rapper. Like, he loved that title. Like, yo, I'm the cocaine rapper. It's like, dude, there was plenty of people who rapped, who dabbled in that, and didn't even want to mention that they did it. Because they didn't look at it as a sense of pride. They looked at it as a sense of shame that they had to lower themselves to do that. That's not what they wanted to do with their lives. So they kept it out their music. They kept it out their music. They kept it out their life. So they evolved from it. And these are some of the people that you wouldn't even expect because they never glorified doing that. But they had to do it at a point in time to survive, to keep their dream alive. See, they did it out of a sense of a necessity for survival. You was doing it because you wanted to be flashy. You were the baby boy. Everybody around you had jobs. Your family had jobs. So it wasn't like you was missing meals. Like, man, we starving. We ain't gonna know where the next meal coming from. Everybody was chipping in and doing what they could. I mean, yeah, he shot his brother. Jay-Z literally shot his brother. His brother was hyping and took this chain that this girl bought from Jay. Jay was hot. And the girl was there, everybody was there. So Jay was embarrassed because his brother came in clowning him in front of some girls. So his ego is hurt. And you stole from him. And he know you took it to go get hot. So he had the front and pulled out a gun and shot his own brother. Now, that's your Jay-Z. Any man to do that would do anything in his power to take you down if he felt like he needed to or he was embarrassed enough. A guy like that could roll over on anybody. I couldn't do business with a guy like that because I know that guy has no real code or a line he wouldn't cross. And if he's jammed up, he's going to do anything to get himself out. Everybody else is expendable. My survival in life is knowing how to not get involved with certain people. And I knew a lot of hustlers in my life. Some I was cool with, some they was just associates. And others were like brothers. But one thing for sure, they could never say, I didn't give them words of wisdom. I always would tell them, you know, there's an expiration date on these streets. And you just don't know what date that is. Everybody was like you, or thought like you, or thought better. They were better than you. Everybody think they got the game figured out. Everybody think they know when the cops is gonna raid. Everybody think they got enough money for a lawyer, for protection. They think they got it all sewn up and they all untouchable. Until that day you're touched. Until that day you ain't got enough for the lawyer. Then you gotta do the time. Then you got no more work. And you back in a worse position than you was when you started. But now you done created children out of this with unworthy women who was just there because you had money and flash. Now they screaming at you, you ain't doing nothing, you ain't no good. You know, your kids need this. And you locked up and can't do that, so they making you feel less than a man. They doing all of these things to make you feel low as dirt. And that's the trap. Now they got you in the system. In the economic prison system. Now you're doing free labor. And then you get out. You got no opportunities. So you do it again. Because what else you know? So the end game is death or jail. Nobody gets in, gets out, and be rich. Unless you're smart enough to know to get out. And have a plan to get out. The day you start. So if you ain't got that, don't start. I give them all the same spiel. You know what they say? Oh, OG, man, we got it, man. You worried, man. We good, OG. And you know where they end up? A lot of them dead. A lot of them in jail. And they saying, damn, that mother was right. But now, it's about too late. I got to do 20. My man's ratted on me. My right-hand man turned on me. It's a dangerous game, man, especially now. Because now there's really no honor. People used to do it as a crew or a gang, and that ain't even the foundation no more. They don't have no honor for anything. They don't respect nothing but money. And if you ain't got that for them, what do they care about you? Seriously. So your friend will turn on you in a heartbeat. Because in this game now, you got people moving weight from the internet. They at home. They not even out in the streets on the corners. They not even out there knowing how the city breathes. They sitting back. Like they the main lion and people bringing them the money. So anybody can roll down on them. They don't know how to take a pinch. They don't have nobody on the inside. They don't really know people on the streets. So who they gonna know that could protect them from the hood? Who gonna watch they back? So hell yeah, they gonna rat. They gonna turn on you in a heartbeat. Because this is a deadly game and a deathly game. Which means that if you're not willing to kill in this game, if you're hesitant on that when it's time and needed, if you have a hesitation in that, the people that surround you who don't hesitate and they see you hesitate, then they gonna feel like, I could probably take him out and run this whole thing. Set you up, you out of there. Now they running the whole ship without you. You've been set up to be hit because they know you scared to hit back and probably don't have anybody else that will stand up and hit for you. It's a dangerous situation and it's ugly and you don't want to be in that life. So definitely hit the like button, subscribe to this page. Don't forget again, watch Marcy Made. It should be on Amazon Prime. Shouts out to everybody from DeHaven. Kwame Brown Bus Life. You can go follow his page. You can follow Welcome to HD with the Two Eyes TV. One Crack News. Everybody, man, we are out. God bless.